I'm Nick Koch from Business Day. I'm the Africa editor, and we are at the end of the South African and European Union Summit. We're talking tonight to Andris Piebags, who's the European Union Commissioner for Development, what you might call aid in the old days. My first question to you, Mr. Piebags, is about the African Union and the high level of European Union support for the African Union. The European Union is currently paying about 80% of the AU's program budget. It's a lot of money. And yet it doesn't really seem to be appreciated either way. European taxpayers worried about the money that that's costing, and in Africa, a certain sense that their hands are tied because the aid is coming from Europe and they don't really feel that it's their money.
Well, African Union is a creation of African states. So it's not creation of somebody from outside. And what we are supporting is ambition of African states. And it's quite correct that we support university programs, research programs, trade programs that is Pan-African dimensions that I feel completely normal because it's done on a request. I am never going to African Union saying, well, do this, I will finance this. It's never there's a kind of it. And I believe the controversy is that at the end of the day, you need to take over these programs. So I believe what Dlamini Zuma is saying, basically, you need to increase own financing because to rely on donors, you can for a while. But in long term, you need sustainability. And sustainability could create it only from domestic resources. So in the next financial period, we will continue to support Pan-African programs. I would agree with this statement because at the end of the day, support is only and should be only temporary to come over difficulties or like to establish a startup. But that means that whenever you start a new program, you should have a timeline when you 100% take it over. There will always be some exceptions in some cases where you would say, well, donor support will be crucial for a long time. And if you don't intend to take it over, then better don't do it. No, not really, because we also came in this with the best intention of it. We will have for the next 7 years program, and we will come from these programs with a assumption that by 2020 or 2021 it's over because my financing is now only until this period. And I am interested that there is sustainability. So I will not agree on financing the program where I would not see that beneficiary intends to take it over. Well, I do, especially nowadays when Europe's economic situation is not so bright as it used to be. And then it's one argument is always, well, why need we support until we ourselves have not dealt with the problems? And the only argument helps is if the people are well informed. And I have very helpful background with this. When I got the job, my people in my country asked, what development? For whom we'd like to help? And they understood only this from the point of humanitarian aid. Well, yes, okay, when the disaster, let's send our tinned fish to the countries. But after following this, there have been some journalists following me and seeing how is the health system function, what is security problems, and education problems. I have an easy life at home because people accept what I'm doing, but they say, you should not give the fish, you should give the rod to fish and allow people to fish themselves. I think all is supported because all countries pay in European Development Fund and none was very difficult. Well, each of them definitely wanted to pay as less as possible. But still, there was never questions that I would not like to pay on it. But the best countries I would single out are 5. The 4 ones, it is Luxembourg, Sweden, Denmark, and Netherlands that stands over 0.7% of GNI, so kept the promise. Netherlands, there is a challenge. And the 5th country that I would single out is UK. It's despite all the economic difficulties that we will do it and are doing and delivering it. So I think 5 countries that definitely demonstrates that it is doable. Towards EU relations to Zimbabwe is definitely, I would say, based on the events, and it is a lot of suspicion. I would say there are worries in it. And at the end of the day, to say that they can be free, credible, and not intimidate anybody, it's very difficult to say from European perspective, because you can always be accused that you are selfish or you are looking that you would like prejudge. We will not, in my opinion, go against SADC opinion. We will definitely will not say that it's credible if SADC says it's not credible. I think what is in Africa now that is very strong is really this credibility of power, legitimacy of power is very clear. If you have no access to energy, you can't expect social standards, and you can't expect also some economic growth, because industrialization is impossible. So our drive was basically very much providing the power to the people, and particularly we are interested in rural electrification. Actually, I tried to encourage European power utilities to come to Africa, and none of them said would be interested. Because power sector is very sensitive, and you need a good governance in power sector. It's not just investment needed, you really need also reliable regulation. You need also to have a reliable tariff structure, because at the end of the day, you need to sell power. And if you make big investment, you need to recover investment. So for rural areas, you just make a grant system. So I am very encouraged that our approach, it seems, is working. For South Africa, it's completely different structure if I compare with the whole continent.